So I had to do a lot of drama around Lal sir, and and in the end I had to kiss him.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, fine. Marathi and Malu films, for that matter, are very deep rooted. The only difference is that we don't have a Mohanlal or a Mammootty. That's the only and the biggest difference.
તાજા સમાચાર તમારી ભાષામાં મેળવવા માટે ડાઉનલોડ કરો ગુજરાતી મિડડેની એપ.
I went to Kochi 4 or 5 days, I think this a week ago, before the release, and we went for the press conference, and that was the first time like the trailer and the music launch was happening. So that was my first stint with the media or people, and telling them that I'm doing this film, So I remember I was in the cab, we were driving from the airport to the hotel, and I was just generally chatting with the cab driver as to, oh, you watch Malu films, huh? And everybody watches Malu films. Like, you shouldn't even be asking. They're very passionate about films in down south. She said, of course I watch. I said, who's your favorite star? I was just trying to gauge. So they said, Mammootty sir. I was like, oh, okay. Do you watch Mohanlal sir's films? I said, of course, we watch everyone's films. They're big for us. We like everyone.
But we'll have a bias.
But we are they're very loyal, I would say. I said, then will you watch Mohanlal sir's film? I said, yeah. He said, yeah, I will watch. I said, do you know there's a film coming up? He said, yeah, there is Malaikottai Vaaliban coming this Thursday. I was like, yes. I said, I'm in that film. So he literally stopped. He's like, what are you doing in the film? And obviously with not such fluent English, but he was trying to understand, and I was trying to understand what he's saying. So he stopped the car and he was like, oh, okay. Then he saw the hoarding and he was trying to, of course, get me in the film and understand what I'm doing and all that. And then I told him I want nice filter coffee. So we stopped somewhere in the corner, and there was this regular restaurant, this small restaurant, not even a restaurant, like a cafe where they were serving some samosas, like chicken samosas and interesting Malu food. So that waiter came to me and he said, you are in the film, huh? I saw the audio. I was like, yes, somebody is recognizing me. So that was my first interaction, a brush with Kerala fans.
Also, I heard that you and Lalatin choreographed a dance and drama sequence in this. Am I right?
It wasn't like a choreography, the whole part. So the song that came out recently, my Malayalam Lavani, fusion Lavani that came out. So before that, there is one, after the sequence, after the dance, there is one nice drama sequence happening on the stage. And she's performing. And then Lal sir's character, Vaaliban, comes on stage, and it is all very dramatic. So, and it is all in one shot. So this film for Lijo is, the grammar of the film is no movement of camera, only movements inside the camera. So the camera is still for 5-10 minutes, and he wanted to do all those sequences in one shot. So this is his experiment with this film, and it's very poetic. You can either love it or hate it, but it's Lijo. That's how he wants to tell his story. So it was one shot. So I had to do a lot of drama around Lal sir, and and in the end I had to kiss him.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, fine. How are we going to do this? So there were a lot of inputs from Lal sir. So he said, why don't you just do a couple of lines here, then come and move here, and then we had this peacock crown, so let's just play with that. And we kind of did a little bit of rehearsals and choreography, and we shot in one shot. And then with actors, what happens is, unless they say cut, you keep on going. You don't stop. You have to improvise. So they played the song, and I'm like, what am I going to do? So I made Lal sir dance, and he's like, and everybody was like, is he going to dance with you? I said, I don't know. I don't know how much of this sequence is going to go. So I was like, okay, let's improvise. So I kept dancing, and then Lal sir also joined. So I made him dance a bit, and most of that stuff is there in the film, and that was all impromptu. He's very good co-star. He's such a brilliant actor to work with. But as a co-star, he just lets you do your thing. He gives you your space. And then he's also reacting perfect. Like you need that give and take, right? So he gives you more than 100%, and that's why you can create this kind of an impromptu energy or space for yourself as an actor also. And that scene also comes out very, very much fun. All my scenes with him are like very flirtatious, very quirky, amma, papa, all that energy. And I think that could only happen because of him, because he's so charming and yet so cool as a co-star. Yes, you have Mohanlal sir playing the protagonist, and the film is, a little bit of larger than life, because he's this larger than life character. He is a wrestler, going across the region, looking out for somebody who can, defeat him. So he is undefeatable. He is this invincible, larger than life character. So yes, it is mounted like that, but I think, like you said, two big legends coming together, people were anticipating the film to be in a certain way for 1 year. Ever since the film was announced, people had already seen that film in their head, that it's going to be this film, and that's where I think it went wrong. Like yes, I will not say that you should not have expectations. It is bound to be anticipated. People will have expectations, but you cannot imagine a film to be in a certain way before you see the visuals or before you actually watch the film, because it is, even I could not imagine the film because it's Lijo's film.
Exactly.
It's only in his head. Nobody else could have, even the producers, nobody actually could imagine the entire film in its entirety till we actually watched it. So it's unfair, I think, on people who saw the film before the film came out in their own heads, and that's where it went wrong. Also, the pace of the film is consciously that way. Like Lijo wanted to tell the story like a fable. He wanted to tell the story like an Amar Chitra Katha, where you see characters. You don't have to read into the characters. You see them, and that's how much they are contributing to the story. And not everything needs to be justified. I don't want to tell backstories of everyone, but this is what they come and do in Vaaliban's life. This is how they contribute to Vaaliban's story. And it's like a grandmother telling a story to the child in a nice certain pace to it, and that is all very consciously done. I feel we as an audience, we probably are not very much evolved to see Indian cinema experimenting so much. I think we appreciate when the experiments are done abroad, and we really go crazy about it. But when somebody in our own country is taking that leap of faith, the producers are taking that leap of faith and risking everything, and such big monies involved in the film. If they can risk and try and do something, I think we need to also open up to see what they're trying to do. So being too judgmental too soon has probably harmed this film, I feel.
What are similarities between Marathi cinema and Malayalam cinema's working styles?
It is pretty similar, because it's regional and the budgets are pretty similar. Vaaliban is an exception. We don't make those films very often. The cultural aspect in Kerala and in Maharashtra are pretty similar. We are very loyal, protective about our language, culture, tradition, history, art forms, dancing, singing. Kerala is also rich with classical singing and dancing. So is Maharashtra. Huge literature we have with us, even down south in Kerala and here also. And the fact that we make very real hardcore stories. Our films, Marathi and Malu films for that matter, are very deep rooted, are always about the content. The only difference, where I keep saying this everywhere, the only difference is that we don't have a Mohanlal or a Mammootty. That's the only and the biggest difference.
Well, Sonalee, thank you so much for your time. It was lovely chatting with you, and I hope we'll get to see you again in Malayalam movies.
I hope so too.
South Indian languages as well.
I hope so too.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
That's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Atulya.
સબસ્ક્રાઇબ કરો ગુજરાતી મિડડે. બેલ આઇકોન પર ક્લિક કરીને મેળવો તમામ વિડીયોના ડાયરેક્ટ નોટિફિકેશન.